And Wendel, the occasion of your visit here is to talk about arthritis. We've got to talk hockey, but let's talk first about the event that you're promoting. You're actually going to be taking part in this.
Yes, it's a walk on May 30th, walk to fight arthritis, and it's something. It's the first walk, and it's to basically create awareness about arthritis. We're all living older, and it's not just an old guy's disease anymore. It affects everybody. So I think it's like 4 million Canadians have arthritis, and 3 in 5 get it before the age of 65. And I know when I was younger, you always just thought about it. That was part of aging and getting old. But
part of being in pro sports,
yeah,
too.
so it's something that you're just trying to get it out there and wear, and it's one of the bigger debilitating diseases that we have.
Well, the way you played on the ice, I would assume that you must suffer from a little bit of arthritis. Do you feel the aches and pains of that? Or?
Well, I have lots of aches and pains, but it's knock on wood, it's not arthritis
really?
yet. But definitely know enough teammates and older alumni guys that are living and dealing with it. My mother-in-law has it severely, and I've met friends that have kids that have it at a young age. They've started with arthritis as teenagers, so it's...
Jeez, I can't believe that, John, because here I've got arthritis in my right ankle from an old hockey injury playing with a bunch of guys in rec hockey. And here's a guy who played the way he did in the NHL, and he doesn't have arthritis. It's crazy.
Yeah. Now, are you looking for people to sponsor you, or are you looking for people to come walk with you?
Well, there's a couple different ways. It's mainly to come and walk and be a part of it, and it's you don't have to sponsor to come and walk, but it's great if you can help out and sponsor and pledge some money when you're out for the walk on May 30th. And also, you can go online to Walk to Fight Arthritis, and if you tell a story of yourself or a friend or a loved one that has arthritis, Tylenol is donating $5 for every story online that they have. So it's another way of helping generate.
You know, I bet you right about now, Sid the Kid could use some Tylenol, because the Montreal Canadiens gave him a headache in the playoffs, obviously, and we want to talk about the playoffs in just a second. But, John, you and I have been talking about the heat that Sidney Crosby has been taking for skipping the World Tournament and not playing for Team Canada. What are your thoughts on that, Wendel? Should Sid the Kid be there in Germany playing for Canada against Russia today?
I would say not. He's played a ton of hockey. And I don't know if this tournament, like I may be the only one out there, but I don't know if this tournament, this isn't the Olympics, this isn't the Stanley Cup, this isn't, it didn't become as big as it maybe is now, but Steve Stamkos is over there and had a concussion, and what if that concussion stops him from playing 15 years in the NHL? I don't. That tournament didn't get him any further in his hockey
So what you're
career.
saying is just not big enough. I mean, the Olympics.
Well, if you're going over in your time,
stage,
because that's when you're at risk. You've played a whole pile of hockey, and which he has in the last 3 years.
Year.
Two playoff runs where they've gone a long way. An Olympic year, and so he's played a ton of hockey. And you go over there and you're not mentally ready to perform. That's when you come down with these injuries. It's not when you're really into it and playing. It's actually when you're a little tired and you start cutting corners and you're not playing as hard, then something crazy happens and you may end up with a major injury for the rest of your career.
Wendel Clark, who you're pulling for in the playoffs? Because of course there's a bit of a pony in the race for you. You used to play for the Blackhawks, but then the last Canadian franchise is the Habs.
For the restaurant wise, we want the Canadian franchise to keep going because the more it as much as it's a Montreal, Toronto, or the big battlers. It keeps everybody in the game of hockey when there's a Canadian team there. The emphasis there, and actually pulling a little bit for San Jose because two guys I started junior hockey with are coaching. Todd McCullough and Trent Yanni. We started with the Saskatoon Blades together.
Sure.
Trent and I were defensive partners in Saskatoon, and Todd and I lived side by each. He was a hometown boy in Saskatoon, so spent a lot of time at his mom's place doing a lot of good eating when we were growing up. So
good memories.
Pulling for those guys.
Yeah, that makes sense. Do you miss playing more so during the playoffs? I mean, all the old guys say, I still miss playing every once in a while. It must be especially so in the playoffs, I would think.
When I retired 10 years ago, the big thing is you don't miss, I think, when you're all beat up and injured, the regular 80-game schedule, but you do miss the playoffs. The playoffs are the one thing that's sometimes easier on your body than regular season because there's no practicing and no traveling during the playoffs like there is in regular season. You have that whole rigors of a regular season exhibition and getting in shape and staying in shape, and then come playoff time, you play every second day, and then if you break it down, when you're an athlete, you break the game down, you play every second day, and the average forward plays 15 minutes every second day. So every period you play 5 minutes. So you can will yourself through 5 minutes every period, and every second day you can will yourself through 15 minutes of actually battling as hard as you can battle. Where sometimes the regular season is more stressful because you've got games and travel and practices and gym workouts, and it's sometimes harder on your body than the actual playoffs.
Wendel, thanks. Good to meet you.
All good, thanks, guys.
Wendel Clark, who's going to be taking place in the Walk for Arthritis. That's on the Sunday, the 30th of May. The Arthritis